Rallying has always stood out from other motorsports, where you don't race against other cars, you race against time. The track is narrow, the surface is unpredictable, and it only takes one small mistake to cause catastrophe. Only the best car manufacturers are able to compete in rally racing, because rally cars and their drivers are pushed to the limit, and the ones that make it out on top are always at the limit. As Colin McRae said it, when in doubt, flat out. If you're a car enthusiast, I'm sure you've run into a Subaru guy or gal driving in a bright blue WRX or STI with gold wheels. And if you're not privy to the culty Subaru culture, that blue color is actually named World Rally Blue. And that color combined with the gold wheels is inspired from a World Rally Championship winning car. Moreover, WRX stands for World Rally Experimental. Subaru's history with the WRC has captivated many worldwide, and it has shaped the Subaru brand forever. Hi friends, I'm Sepp. Welcome back to a new video. Today we are going back in time to understand Subaru's origin story with the WRC, its successes, its failures, and where its rally vision is today. If you're new to the channel, I talk about all things car related in my videos, and I try to post a new video every week, so feel free to subscribe to my channel so you get your weekly dose of YouTube car content. The World Rally Championship is the pinnacle of international competition in rally motorsport. Owned and governed by the FIA, the same peeps that run Formula 1.
Toto? Yes. It's called a motor race, okay?
Starting out in 1973 with its inaugural race at the Monte Carlo Rally, WRC has evolved over the past 6 decades to become what it is today, with 13 to 14 different events around the world, on surfaces ranging from tarmac to gravel to snow and ice. Every rally is divided into different stages, up to 350 kilometers of closed roads. Group B rally has been referred to by many as the golden age of rallying, where there were very little restrictions on car designs. Therefore, manufacturers built extremely light cars matched with extremely high horsepower, some at an excess of 500 horsepower. These cars don't only have a crazy power to weight ratio, but they were also getting dangerously fast for tracks that demanded drivers and co-drivers to have pinpoint accuracy. As with all human endeavors that push the law of physics to its breaking point, Group B resulted in multiple fatal accidents, both from the competitor and spectator sides. Some people even went so far to call this era the Killer B era. To that point, the FIA ended Group B in 1987 and designated Group A as the new top-tier rally division with engine limits of 2000cc and 300 brake horsepower. It was in this division Subaru put its name on the map. To enter Group A, Subaru had to produce a minimum of 2,500 identical models in 12 consecutive months. That's why we have special edition Subarus like the Type RA come into existence. Although this may seem like a daunting task for car manufacturers to produce a subset of cars with a niche market, at the end of the day, people want to be winners, be successful, and be the best, and having a car that has that reputation sells. That's one of the main reasons behind Subaru's investment in the WRC. And a couple decades later, it's still paying dividends. Subaru had participated in the WRC throughout the 1980s, but with no notable podiums. It wasn't until a match made in heaven came along in 1989 when the president of Subaru Technica International partnered with the British firm ProDrive to become the Subaru World Rally team. Based out of Banbury, Oxfordshire in the UK, ProDrive designs and develops race cars for an impressive clientele, such as the Rothmans Rally Team, BMW, Ford, Honda, and Ardent International, a company run by yours truly, Christian Horner.
Shut up.
It's no surprise Subaru approached ProDrive for the rally division. ProDrive sort of had the Midas touch when it came to race cars, and Subaru really wanted some gold on their cars. The first car ProDrive produced for Subaru wasn't actually the well-known Impreza. It started off in 1990 with the Subaru Legacy RS Turbo. Based on the production car Subaru Legacy, ProDrive took the regular commuter sedan and threw in the EJ20G, a 2-liter turbocharged boxer engine producing 290 horsepower and 290 foot-pounds of torque. This power was sent to all four wheels through the X-Track manual gearbox and a viscous coupling center differential, in conjunction with limited slip front and rear differentials. The Legacy debuted in the WRC at the 1990 Safari Rally, but Subaru didn't get a podium until the 1991 Swedish Rally, thanks to Markku Allen finishing in 3rd place. During the season, rally drivers Ari Vatanen and Colin McRae joined Subaru Rally Team Europe at the 1991 Lombard RAC Rally, where Vatanen finished in 5th place and McRae crashed out. But although McRae was not driving for Subaru's WRC team directly, he did win back-to-back British Rally Championship titles for Rothmans Subaru UK Rally team with the same Legacy RS derived from the WRC team. This was huge for the young 23-year-old Scotsman, as these wins earned him a full-time driver spot on the Subaru WRC team. Although he was young and relatively less experienced compared to other teammates, he always followed his mantra of "when in doubt, flat out," which was clearly shown on display at the 1992 Rally Finland, where he flipped the car during testing, flipped it several more times during an actual stage, and flipped it one more time at a later stage. But that did not stop his resolve to never stop pushing himself and his car to the absolute limit. He ended up finishing 8th in the rally, which is extremely surprising that he finished at all, considering his Subaru Legacy was quite literally a shell of its former self. Despite not winning at the Finland Rally, he did win the hearts of the Finnish fans and the WRC community as a whole. Now, with Subaru and ProDrive ironing out some of the growing pains of a new team, the 1992 season brought about 2 more podiums. The first one with McRae finishing 2nd at the Swedish Rally, then Ari Vatanen, now also a Subaru WRC full-time driver, finishing 2nd at the Lombard RAC Rally. Subaru ended up placing 4th in the Manufacturers' Championship, but only competed in 7 of the 14 events, which really showed the competition that Subaru was going to be a championship contender for years to come. 1992 was the most successful season Subaru had up to that point, bringing feelings of optimism and excitement throughout the team. And with the young rally prodigy Colin McRae as one of the main drivers, the 1993 season was looking bright, especially because of the new 555 livery with its iconic blue and gold color scheme. The years of hard work from the drivers, co-drivers, engineers, and mechanics finally paid off at Rally New Zealand, where Colin scored Subaru's first WRC victory. At that point, everyone knew it was going to be one of many. Subaru ended up finishing 3rd in the Manufacturers' Championship that year, but had some big changes in the 1994-95 season that would propel the team even further than ever before. Firstly, Carlos Sainz joined the team.
Smooth operator.
No, not that one. His dad, actually. Secondly, the Legacy RS was replaced with the new Impreza 555, a smaller and more agile car than the Legacy. The engine was also revised with a new turbo, intercooler, and cylinder heads, increasing the power to 300 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque. Other changes include active differentials, allowing the car to modulate the torque split between the front and rear wheels. All of these changes helped cultivate a rally team that dominated the whole season. McRae and Sainz went back and forth, winning rally after rally, until it came down to the final event of the season at the RAC Rally of Great Britain, where McRae and Sainz were tied in points for the Drivers' Championship. You see, Sainz was a fantastic driver, world-class, and sharp like a scalpel, but McRae had raw talent and seemingly had no fear of going beyond his comfort zone. And it was this fearlessness that pushed McRae to triumph over Sainz, taking 1st place in the rally, 1st in the Drivers' Championship, and sealed 1st place for Subaru in its maiden Manufacturers' Championship title. Now, with the Subaru World Rally team having championship fever, McRae and team drivers such as Kenneth Eriksson and Piero Liatti achieved consistent podiums to defend Subaru's Manufacturers' Championship title in 1996 and 97, 3 consecutive in a row for Subaru, which was fantastic, but they unfortunately were not able to beat Tommi Mäkinen, who took the Drivers' Championship in 1995, 1996, 1997, and 1998. And what made it burn a little more was that it was done in Subaru's rival car, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution WRC, which honestly deserves a video on its own. All good things come to an end, and that was the case at the end of the 1998 season, when McRae left Subaru to race for Ford in their new Ford Focus WRC car. But that did open up more room on the team for new talent. In 2001, Subaru debuted the new GD chassis WRC 2001. Based on the Bug-Eye WRX STI, the new chassis provided a reduced center of gravity thanks to the engine sitting lower in the engine bay. Other modifications include the intercooler being placed in the front grille as shown with the STI logo, and the radiator located directly below in the front bumper. As the intercooler was relocated, the hood scoop was repurposed to funnel air for the air intake. One other notable change was the positioning of the rear wing, cantilevering off the trunk to distance it as much as possible from the body to make it the most effective in producing downforce. The new driver lineup piloting this Bug-Eye on steroids was Richard Burns and Petter Solberg, both being rally legends in their own right. Now, the start of the 2001 season did not look good for Subaru. Due to multiple mechanical and electrical failures and a few crashes, Burns only tallied up a disappointing 3 points after 4 out of 14 events were already completed. Also, a major point gap developed from championship leader Tommy Mäkinen by 24 points. Subaru's championship title was going to be a battle, and battle they did. Subaru and ProDrive knew what it took to win a championship. They were not going to let off their pursuit to get back on top. So they conducted extensive tests and modified small components of the engine, including a new airbox. These tests also let the drivers really settle in with the car and understand its driving dynamics even more. The result of all of this was shown at the Argentina rally, where Burns was winning multiple stages, showing the world the new chassis was not to be overlooked. And if not for a spin in stage 3, he would have won the rally, taking second behind former teammate McRae. Burns repeated his performance in Cyprus, taking second again behind McRae. In Greece, Burns lost control and spun off the road, but his misfortune allowed Solberg to sweep up the mess and claim second place. Subaru was slowly creeping up the leaderboard, but still not close enough to be in contention for the top spot. Subaru knew their car was capable of keeping up with the rest of the grid, so all they had to do was to be consistent and complete rallies with no mechanical failures or driver errors. And so the game of attrition began, with Ford, Mitsubishi, Citroën, and Peugeot exchanging blows for number 1 on the podium. Burns kept his cool and finished 3 rallies in second place and 1 in first place at Rally New Zealand, putting Subaru in the points for 4 out of the 7 remaining rallies after Greece. It was this consistency that allowed Subaru to make a heroic comeback and crown Richard Burns and co-driver Robert Reed drivers' champions for the 2001 WRC season. They were certainly not slow, but were steady, and that's what ended up clinching the top spot. Richard Burns jumped ship to Peugeot for the 2002 season, which shocked many at Subaru, but was replaced by a legendary driver, Tommy Mäkinen, Subaru's arch nemesis for years, now part of the team. Expectations were high for this new lineup with Mäkinen and Solberg as the main drivers. But after Mäkinen's maiden win at the Monte Carlo season opener, he was only able to finish 5 more events during the season. However, Solberg was more successful, with 5 podiums, one of them in top spot at the last event of the season at Rally of Great Britain. This win pushed Solberg past former Subaru driver Carlos Sainz into second in the Drivers' Championship, a gallant season finish for Subaru. The 2003 season continued on with Mäkinen and Solberg as the main drivers. The car was revamped, however, with a blob-eye front end, and overall improvements to the car included a revised turbocharger for better low-end torque, lighter body panels, and stiffer chassis components. The season started off poorly at Monte Carlo, where neither driver finished the rally, but this was a minor setback as Subaru's performance throughout the season was phenomenal, grabbing podium finishes in 8 out of 14 events, half of them being first for Solberg. He went beast mode this season and gave Subaru the triumphant Drivers' Championship they desperately wanted, beating Sebastian Loeb in his Citroen by only 1 point. For the rally legend Tommy Mäkinen, he ended up finishing in 8th. He later announced his retirement from the WRC at the end of the 2003 season to be replaced by Mikko Hirvonen. 2004 brought more rally wins from Solberg, winning 5 of the events at New Zealand, Greece, Japan, Italy, and Wales. Despite these successes, Sebastian Loeb bounced back and snatched the Drivers' Championship with 7 outright event wins, leaving Solberg in 2nd place. With Mikko Hirvonen finishing only in 7th place, Subaru ended up placing 3rd in the Manufacturers' Championship, which unfortunately led the team to not re-sign Hirvonen for the next season. Major changes early on in the 2005 season caused some cracks in the team's foundations. Firstly, the death of Subaru Technica International's founding president, Ruichiro Kuzi, died in March 2005. He helped broker the partnership between Subaru and ProDrive back in 1989 and was one of the strongest proponents of keeping the partnership alive. Lastly, ProDrive founder David Richards, who personally oversaw the early careers of McRae, Burns, and Solberg, became more and more occupied with being the principal of the Bar Formula One team, adding another key team member who more or less is no longer involved. Some people say the 2005 season was the beginning of the end for Subaru, but let's keep going through the seasons before we jump to any conclusions. Chris Atkinson replaced Hirvonen for the 2005 season, a young Australian stockbroker turned rally driver. I wish I could make a career change like that. Atkinson clinched 3rd in Rally Japan, showing his worth to the team to keep him on as a main driver for future seasons. Solberg won back-to-back rallies in Mexico and Sweden and a 3rd win at Wales Rally GB. Overall, Subaru got on the podium 9 times, placing Solberg 2nd in the Drivers' Championship and the team 4th in the Manufacturers' Championship. For the 2006 season, Subaru retained Atkinson and Solberg for gravel events, while on tarmac events, former Formula One driver Stefan Sarrazin took the wheel. This season introduced the new facelifted Hawkeye front end, looking more aggressive than the previous Blobeye. However, the team's championship pursuit didn't look as good as the car, scoring podiums only 4 times with 0 wins. Subaru ended up finishing 3rd in the Manufacturers' Championship and only got as close to 6th place in the Drivers' Championship with Solberg. Many characterized the 2006 season for Subaru as disappointing, and the program Engineering the World Rally, produced by the Discovery Channel, called this season for Subaru the season from hell. The 2007 season was pretty much on par with the previous one, with 0 wins and Subaru finishing 3rd in the manufacturers, which is even more dismal considering there were only 2 other manufacturers that were registered, Ford and Citroen. For the Drivers' Championship, Solberg and Atkinson finished 5th and 7th respectively. At this point, Subaru's downfall was becoming more and more apparent. There was a shimmer of hope in the 2008 season with the new WRC 2008, based on the GE chassis Impreza WRX hatchback, and the return of Richards and Lapworth to the team. The car was supposed to have better handling characteristics compared to the GD chassis, but unfortunately it was anything but that. Seemingly endless tests were done to try to correct the handling issues, but to no avail. According to Rally Sport magazine, the handling was so poor, the drivers were not allowed to talk about it in interviews. The season concluded for Subaru with only 2 podiums and finished in the same standings as the 2 previous seasons, in 3rd for the Manufacturers' Championship. For the Drivers' Championship, Chris Atkinson finished 5th, with Solberg directly behind him in 6th. At the end of the 2008 season, Subaru announced their withdrawal from the WRC due to the American economy tanking, and because they had felt the Subaru achieved their marketing objectives. Speculation was around Subaru's relationship with ProDrive, the efficacy of the drivers, and much more. But all we can conclude is that Subaru could no longer keep up with the other manufacturers, both at the car level and financially. Chris Atkinson later drove WRC cars from Ford and Citroen to then be quoted to say, "It showed me technology-wise we were probably a decade behind." Although Subaru is no longer part of the WRC, they still pour money into motorsport, such as the Nürburgring 24-hour race with the STI Nürburgring Challenger, the GT300 Subaru BRZ in the Super GT series, the Japanese Rally Championship, and we can't forget the Subaru Motorsports USA team dominating in the American Rally Association. Subaru Motorsports USA is the Subaru's rally division here in North America, run by Vermont Sports Car, essentially the pro-drive version here in the States. And what Vermont Sports Car has been able to produce is amazing. Not only championship-winning rally cars, but insane Subarus for Hoonigan's Gymkhana. When it comes to pro-drive, their partnership with Subaru has not completely died, where they produced the Nürburgring Challenger car to set a record-breaking lap for a four-door saloon around the Nürburgring, which resulted in the release of the limited edition STI Type RA in 2018. Also, they set a record-breaking time around the Isle of Le Mans TT at a ridiculous average speed of 128 miles per hour, where top motorbikes average around 130 miles per hour around the same track. Subaru's rally cars from the 1990s and 2000s are still on display at the Subaru Visitor Center in Japan, so you can get up close and personal with the rally legends I just mentioned. Subaru had a successful WRC career with 3 manufacturers championships and 3 drivers championships. Not record-breaking, but they were always one of the fan favorites at every single event, and the legacy they leave behind is lived on with car enthusiasts worldwide, modifying and driving their Subarus in any weather, all year round. Let me know what you guys think about Subaru's track record in the WRC and how it may have influenced you. I wouldn't be making this video if it didn't influence me. Anyways friends, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.